Shelby Sapp just spent over $2.3 million putting on a 3-day event for over 3,000 people, right? And on paper, the ticket revenue alone might not even cover that, which should be a disaster, obviously, right? But instead, it's probably one of the best plays in the whole info space this year. And in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to break down the whole pricing structure, the live stage upsell she did, and everything else she did to make this such a successful event, okay? And even if you're a smaller coach, creator, or anything like that, there's still going to be a whole lot of gems you can take in this video. Okay, so I'm going to get straight into this video, okay? So the conference was called the Women and Wealth Conference, right? And it was basically a 3-day event, obviously in person. It had a capacity of around 3,000 people and 9+ speakers, which is obviously a bunch in the first place, right? Now, she also spent apparently $2.3 million roughly producing the whole event, which is obviously a crazy amount of money and it's pretty unseen for in the whole info space in general for in-person events, right? But it most definitely did pay off and made a whole lot of sense. Just stay tuned to the end of the video. So she had 3 different offer tiers that she had in place for this event, right? Which was the new money tier, the old money tier, and the generational wealth tier. And I'm going to break down each and every single one and why she actually had tiers in the first place, right? Because basically everything inside this whole thing is calculated and there is big reasons behind it. So the first tier, the new money one, cost anywhere from $497 up to $750, right? So obviously this was like the early on the initial pricing, and obviously with time as more tickets sold out and whatnot, it went up to $750 in the end. And this tier included general seating, main stage, and also like access to the gala on a Friday, right? Basically during the event. Next is the old money tier, right? Now this tier started at $997 and went all the way up to $1,197. So obviously, a significant increase there. And this included access to a VIP lounge, lifetime recordings of the event, and also like a gala upgrade as well. And then there was a generational wealth tier, which was anywhere from $5,000 and all the way up to $15,000. And basically included a 3-hour private boardroom with Shelby and basic VIP access to everything else, right? And the reason why this works so well and why having tiers for this event is obviously very, very needed is because of the fact that Shelby obviously is very, very big on social media, right? And she's posting a lot of content and has a whole lot of traffic. So in order to basically sell the most amount of tickets to this event, having 3 different tiers that basically accommodate to like 3 different price points, right? 3 different types of people that are willing to pay different prices is obviously very, very effective, right? To basically sell the most tickets, because there's obviously people who aren't able to get the generational wealth tier, for example, or people who want to get this tier and they don't really care about the new money tier and so on and so forth, right? So having all these different prices obviously is very, very effective for obvious reasons, okay? Now, in the event, she also had a live upsell, right? And what this was basically during a masterclass on the stage done by someone else. They basically had an upsell and they basically included urgency and like a first mover framing. And what this resulted in was like attendees literally rushing the stage and purchasing the high ticket offer on the same day, right? Which is pretty insane. And the ticket is not what gets the product here. It's not just a product, right? It's essentially what just gets them into the room in the first place, right? Obviously because of the upsells and stuff like that, right? But even better, once they're in person, right? They're in this event, watching Shelby Sapp, receiving value from her, connecting with other viewers of her in real life, they're going to be literally primed to buy it, right? As long as they're actually financially qualified, they're going to have like minimal objections, right? Minimal reasons to not buy. Like she's literally in front of them, right? And so many people in the info space obviously do not do this, right? For obvious reasons, because it's posting content. It's mainly all done online. But having an in-person event is just basically going that extra mile, right? Most people, the furthest they'll take it is doing a webinar or like a live online masterclass. But she obviously had an in-person one, which is basically literally prime people to buy. And people just did not hesitate, and she basically made a whole lot of money with this upsell right here as well. Now, you may be wondering, and you may have like a big question in your mind, if the tickets alone might not even cover $2.3 million, why do this at all? Right? Because this is also like a crazy amount of money to spend on a masterclass. And if you do the math, maybe the tickets don't even cover this for the amount, right? But the real ROI is here, right? The ticket revenue is around $3 to $4 million roughly, and the production cost is obviously $2.3 million, right? So the ticket margin alone is overall like pretty thin, right? It's nothing too crazy, but the actual return is, and also you have to keep in mind here, like it's obviously she'll be giving up her time and obviously other like miscellaneous costs and whatnot. So overall, the profit margin will probably not be insane just on the tickets, right? But the actual return here is the live upsell revenue, obviously at the high margin, and this is obviously stacked on top, and then also the brand equity, right? So you can also say I sold out a 3,000 people in-person event, right? Which people just can, that's gonna be like social proof. That's gonna be like, how did she do that? Obviously, it's a very credible figure and whatnot, right? And also content, right? Obviously, from this masterclass, she's able to get so much content, and it's gonna help fuel marketing for literally months and years to come, right? So these are the main reasons, and overall the ROI is definitely there. Obviously, maybe the profits aren't absolutely insane, but for the long term, like she's definitely going to see huge returns from having this in-person event, right? Now, if you're a smaller coach or a creator, the main things that I would say that you can take from this whole thing is firstly having tiered and escalating prices, right? So even having a smaller scale masterclass, you can still have multiple offer tiers to sell to more people. It's really just understanding your audience, right? Doing the market research, finding out, okay, what price are the people actually willing to pay? And obviously people may be willing to invest more or less, or whatever it may be, right? So like having escalating pricing is most definitely something you do if you're doing any type of webinar, any type of masterclass, anything sort of slim to like this, or it's just like a live presentation type of thing, right? Next thing is obviously going to be a live upsell, right? So you want to pitch right off the value has been delivered. Even if you're running a webinar or anything, you can still apply this. Okay, as soon as you're like actually like delivering the value and people are engaging, people are typing things in the chat, whatever it may be, that's exactly when you want to drop the pitch, right? For her high ticket upsell, she dropped the pitch right when people were in that state, right, where they like had all the value, right, they were understanding things, and that's obviously when she pitched, and people were really willing to buy. Okay, that's the exact same thing you should do in webinar. Obviously, webinar is great for this just because it's live and like people are joining and receiving that value throughout. But make sure you don't drop the pitch at like a wrong time or like just like mess it up, okay? And the final thing is you can also repurpose literally everything in content, right? Even clips from a webinar, if you host any type of webinar or like stuff from a mastermind or an in-person meet, wherever it may be, can literally be used as content, right? And it's gonna help build up trust and social proof automatically, right? Because like you presenting things live, right? Obviously, when people see Shelby Sapp doing a whole in-person masterclass, right, like presenting things to people, they're automatically going to view her as more of like an authority, like a teacher figure, and be more likely to buy into her info product, right? Because people are obviously going to group of people, and if they see her presenting to like a bunch of people, right, they're going to like, people are going to basically like associate with that, right? They're going to like think, oh yeah, if she's doing this, presenting to so many different people, I should also join this group of people, right? Buy into info product, just follow her, whatever it may be. And overall, it's definitely just going to build up a social proof. I mean, I don't know, cross it out. Social proof a ton, right? That's the biggest thing. So if you're a coach or a creator and you've watched until the end of this video, you can book a free call with me down below. On this call, I'll basically order your whole coaching business, make you a free plan on how you can actually scale it up, give you some free insights there, and also hit you my offer at the end if I do think I can help you out in scaling. So yeah, click this link below. You'll basically find this page, you can schedule a time with me and we can basically talk on there. Also, if you have any questions or anything like that, hit me up on Instagram or just leave a comment down below. I'll answer all of them. That's it for this video. Peace out.